Hi everyone, welcome to Everyday, your daily stop for virtual reality content. I am D, and this is my last day in Atlanta. I'll be back tomorrow. And in the meantime, this is a pre-recorded video, and today we're going to be looking at two small demos. These are small art piece type demos in the style of Blocked In, if you remember that demo, where the goal is mainly to just explore a small environment and take it in. These demos are created by the same developer. They work for a company in Toronto called Iris Productions, which is a corporate media company. And its employees are Chris Abel and Blair Renault, so it's a very small company. And they have worked on 3 demos so far. I'm going to be showing you the first 2 today. They are called The Room and The City. The Room is inspired in part by the book Ready Player One, which I've only read recently, and it's basically a book about a future scenario where VR is cheap and widespread. And in that scenario, one of the things that people have is they have these private chat rooms where basically people can set up their own private room where they construct everything in the room. They can define who has access to the room at what times, and nobody's allowed to violate that protocol. So generally people construct their rooms to like represent their interest and personality, and because there's no physical limitations, unlike in a real room, you can just put whatever cool things you like from whatever fandoms or other universes you enjoy. So it's really flexible, and I think that this kind of private chat room is actually probably going to be a real existing thing in VR social spaces. Now the city, which we will see after that, is it's just kind of a demo of scale. It has a city, and it has giant robots walking around in it. And the point of it is to give you a feeling for what it's like to be down there on the street when there are giant robots walking around, and to take advantage of the Rift's sense of scale to do that really effectively. Now the third demo they've created, I'm not going to show today because it's going to take a bit more time. It's currently in alpha stage, and its name is Technolust. Technolust takes place in a future scenario where 3D printing has become widespread and cheap, but the plans are controlled by a small number of large companies, and so you're like a hacker who's somehow involved in trying to get access to those schematics, and 3D printing is going to play a role in the plot. So that's what Technolust is about. It's kind of a cyberpunk future scenario. And today we're going to focus on the first 2, so without further ado, I'm going to jump into The Room. Let's go. Alright, so here we are in The Room. So, just to remind you, The Room is supposed to be a representation of a private chat room where a person represents all of their personal interests and hobbies using artifacts in the room. And there's a lot of references to the developer's personal interests in this room. It's they originally created it as just kind of a way to learn about the Rift and play with Unity, and everything is here. So first of all, you see the Oculus Rift, and I mean, of course they're interested in the Rift if they're making a Rift demo. So it makes sense that that would be here. You can see the V-Mask up there, so maybe they like V for Vendetta, maybe they're a member of Anonymous. I don't know why that's there. I can only speculate. There's an Xbox 360 controller. I think there's another one over here. Yep, there's another Xbox 360 controller. And here's the Oculus dev kit package that it comes inside. Very nicely modeled. Quite a convincing reproduction, if I may say so. I have 2 of them sitting on my bed right now because I have 2 Rifts. And we've got this lamp going on, shining on this what is going on with this lamp? It's got like fire coming out of it. I'm sure this is a reference to something. I'm not sure exactly what it is. Pretty much everything in this room is a reference to something. I like how they have the little dust particles, that they have a really nice stereoscopic effect, and it's kind of reminiscent of the little feathers floating around in Tuscany. Really gives you something to look at in the room. I'm glad they're not really here though, because they would be making me sneeze. And let's see, what is this? The Ultimate Galactic Oh, so it's a showdown poster between Darth Vader and Obi-Wan Kenobi. That is cute. Okay, okay. And there are some pots and pans. So it looks like they started out with some kind of church or something, some kind of relic, some kind of old building, and then they added with stained windows, and then they added all this stuff in it. So here's a Coke machine. This is an old-fashioned Coke machine. Can I open this? Can I click on it? Can I interact with anything in this environment? I don't even know. Oh, check this out. This is... I don't recognize this computer, but this is like one of those old like briefcase computers. Like before laptops were practical, they would make briefcase computers that you carried around in a pretty heavy briefcase, and you would lay them down on a table and fold up the screen, and you could go ahead and boot them up and use them. And I don't recognize this particular one, and the texture's too low on the keyboard to get a clear look at that, but too low resolution. But yeah, that's an old briefcase computer sitting on the stovetop here. So that's cool. Let's check out what else is going on here. So apparently they are a fan of snowboarding. We got, what is that? Oh, I should know what that is. It's one of those, the things where you can type things out and it says them, I think. I'm not sure. Here's some books. You can't read the spines of the books. I think these came with the environment. It would be cool, though, if you could just go to someone's private chat room and, like, their entire ebook collection would appear as actual books on the shelf and you could browse them. I think that would be a really good way of making ebooks more social. Let's see what else there is to do here. There's this old thing. That appears to be from Gremlins. It's some kind of dissection of a gremlin's body and its anatomy. What's going on with this TV? So it's just a pumpkin appearing over and over while some music plays. I'm not sure if the fall off of this music is realistic, because like I can't hear it at all when I'm standing here, but it's very loud and clear when I'm standing here. What kind of TV volume works like that? I think they've increased the fall off rate on purpose. I don't recognize what this music is from. Whoa, whoa, what's inside this barrel? There's like a guy with a face. That is creepy. Okay. There are some tools hanging on the wall. There's this big thing. I'm pretty... Whoa, it's a bee. Hi, bee. What's up? What? Whoa, the bee's flying around my head. Oh, there it goes. Okay. So I think this is a reference to Star Wars? Super Sherpa.
Time, kids. The clock is ticking. Be in front of your TV sets for the horathon. And remember the big giveaway at 9. Don't miss it.
It sounds like they're playing an advertisement for a Halloween special on the TV. So I don't know what this thing does, but it is pretty cool looking. And this is what I mean when I say that your private chat rooms can have things in them that would not be practical to have in your real life room. Like, yeah, I mean, in your real life room, you can have your Oculus Rift and your posters and your snowboard and your bookcase. That's not a big deal. But you're not going to have a fucking spaceship component in your room that goes from floor to ceiling. You're just not going to have that. And you're not going to have, you know, a jet fighter. You're not going to have you're not going to have like a real life, like an NPC that's walking around that's like from one of your favorite games. Things like that. There's just so many opportunities in a VR room to do this kind of thing. And like imagine in the future if like instead of decorating your bedroom, you just spend a bunch of time decorating your virtual bedroom, and you like have a giant computer like maybe like this one hanging out in front of us here, and you just sit in front of that and people come visit you there. I think that would be super cool. Whoa, I turned it on. What's happening? ESRB, it looks like I'm about to see a video game preview. CD Projekt Red. The bee is following me. Okay, there's a person with some eyes. Alright. This is some cool video. There's a bullet going. Whoa, and it got smashed. I seem to remember an earlier version of this having some music in it, but they probably removed it for like copyright reasons. So yeah, I think this is from a video game preview. I guess we're gonna find out which one it is. You guys probably recognize it. I don't recognize all the stuff in this room. If you guys recognize anything I didn't recognize, tell me in the comments. I want to know what all the references are in here. Okay, she's some kind of invincible robot girl. I get it. I get it. Okay. And let's see. I think I've seen everything there is to see in here. I think we need to move on to the city. Let's get out of here. Oh, what's this thing? I didn't see this thing before. Is this a coat rack? Yeah, I think that was just part of the original environment. Alright, let's get out of here. See you guys in the city. Alright, here we are in the city. Welcome to the city. Holy shit. Everything is huge. Everything is so huge. And there's a robot coming. Oh god. Don't. I need to run away. I need to run away. I need to run away. I can't. The mouse and keyboard don't do anything. Holy shit. Holy shit. Look at this thing. Whoa. Whoa. Whoa, that robot is like 10 stories tall. And there's more of them. They keep on coming. Who's that guy up there? Hey, guy! 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 Tell me how the robots look from up there. And there's more robots going by back there. And all these tall buildings. And there's like a screen up there. And there's stuff happening on it. It looks like Japanese characters, I guess. And here come the robots. Did Japan take over the world with robots? Because that seems like something they would do. Wow, just look at that foot. That foot is the size of a car, all by itself. I don't know how that thing even stands. I certainly don't know how it walks by so quietly. Wow. Wow. And another one coming. They never stop. Wow. Wait, this one... No, this one's closer to me. What's happening? Why are they coming closer? I don't want them to come closer. I want them to stay away. I want them to stay far away. Don't walk on me, robot. Robot, no. Holy shit, it's walking directly towards me. Ah! Okay, its foot just went through me. Holy shit, look at this foot. Look at this foot. Look at this. Holy shit. Wow. Can you imagine something like this being part of a game where you have to, like maybe a game based on giant kaiju monsters, or maybe a game based on fighting with giant robots, where you have to, like, the first step is you have to navigate the streets and get to your own giant mecha so you can fight the other giant mechas. And you kind of like a Mirror's Edge thing, you have to parkour to your robot and you have to avoid these other giant robots as you're trying to get there and they're after you. This is crazy. Wow. Alright, so that's the city. And there's literally no way to move around in this game. I am fixed in place. So it's a lot like Blocked In that sense. But it's a lot more of an open environment, obviously. Alright. Let's get out of here and talk about this stuff a little bit. So that was the room and the city. So as you can tell, this developer, whoever they are, have exceedingly geeky taste, and they appreciate things like sci-fi and that kind of stuff. And I think they're both really different and really compelling demonstrations, even though they're both very simple and very kind of like very, very limited scope art pieces, much like Blocked In. But I think that kind of minimal experience works really well for the Rift, because you can you can just jump into an experience like this, and you can immediately begin to like just have access to the entire thing. It's not like a game where you have to go through like an introductory stage or things like that. You're just plopped right into the middle of it, and you can explore and experience the whole thing all around you, and it's completely non-linear in that sense. I think that the concept of a private chat room where you have all of your interests represented using objects is really cool, and it'll be great to see that kind of thing be made practical in a real VR social space where you can actually invite people to your room. And it'll be great to see also them make that kind of like integrate things like Desktop into it, so that you can have your virtual computer in that environment, and it'll actually fit right in with everything else. I think the city was a great demonstration, not just of scale, but of the atmosphere, and there's an implicit narrative going on, not to quite the same extent as something like Blocked In, but there's definitely some amount of implicit narrative, some amount of like, there's giant robots, they're invading the city, something ominous is going on, there's a guy standing on the building, what does he have to do with this? So I can imagine all sorts of directions they could take off from here. And I'm definitely excited to try out their latest demo, which is currently in alpha, and to see how they work. They started with these really like minimal demos. I want to see how they expand them into exploratory narratives. I think virtual adventure games are going to be a big genre in VR, because VR lends itself to exploration. Particularly non-linear exploration, and adventure games are pretty much all about that. So that's all for today, and yeah, I'll link all of these demos I've mentioned in the description, along with the webpage of the official webpage of the latest one on the company's website. And that's all for today, and see you guys tomorrow, and I will be back in person. And everybody have a great every day.